I am here with one of my soulmate clients, and you guys know that I just love to share their experiences because I know that you can hear me talk so much about my experience in my business and aligning my business with my soul's purpose and showing up in service and how we truly can thrive using our gifts. But I think it's important to hear it straight from somebody who has the experience. Many of you have heard me talk about opening up 3 spots for the month of June, and I've got a couple calls booked already this week. So we may have some of those 3 spots taken, but I did open up a little bit more availability in my calendar. So if this is speaking to you, let's definitely find some time to chat as soon as possible. But in the meantime, I'd love to introduce you to, again, one of my soulmate clients. Madison, can you tell everybody where you are and how you serve your soulmate clients?
Hi, my name is Madison. I am in Kelowna, BC, and I am a practicing light language facilitator as well as a trauma recovery coach and a trauma-informed photographer.
Beautiful. That
And
sounds
I
like a
specialize with specifically narcissistic abuse recovery.
I think that's so important for you to highlight because I think that there's a lot of people who are likely going to watch, whether they're live or on the replay, who can resonate with that. Unfortunately, I think there's a lot of us who are really coming to terms with the fact that we have dealt with that. And I think that having somebody who can really specialize in how to navigate that journey can be hugely valuable.
Yeah.
Um, Let me ask you if I know you've been with me for quite some time. You finished the 16-week Soulpreneur intensive program and
Yeah.
apparently enjoyed your time because you're now in the annual mastermind program, which I'm so grateful for and really excited to have you in there because, as you know, this is a group of like-minded people, and that's so important when it comes to this journey. Not everybody we know is on this journey, this entrepreneurial journey, this spiritual journey, this growth journey. So the more people we surround ourselves with who are on a similar journey, the better. But if you can remember what things were like before you joined the Soulpreneur Intensive and what was really making you want to consider joining this program in the first place.
Well, I had initially began talking to you right after I had been accepted into a program through Community Futures for business plan development. And I had already kind of built a business plan, but I wasn't exactly 100% resonating with it. I didn't exactly build a business plan. I kind of built a mock-up of one. And then by the time I had started working with you, I started kind of getting more guidance as to like where I wanted to be directed and how I wanted everything to fall into itself together. And because I am a manifest generator in human design. And I have ADHD. I have a million different talents and hobbies that I do. So it was nice to find something that I can incorporate like my learned life experiences as well as my hobbies, and be able to serve people and empower them the way that I needed to be empowered when I went through some of the worst times of my life. So
As we teach, as we heal, we teach, as we teach, we heal. That makes perfect sense. I love that so much because again, I feel like a lot of people will resonate with you, and that's why I like to do these videos because I know for myself as well when I was in my hustle and grind days before I hired my first business mentor, I was doing all of the things and I was really struggling to focus on what is actually turning the needle in my business. And I think that's really important to
Mhm.
highlight because as much as I do talk about feminine energy, there is a definite need for that masculine energy of structure and logic and reason and the framework that I teach inside of the Soulpreneur Intensive.
Oh,
Um,
for sure.
so looking at that, looking at the framework, there's a number of different pieces and parts to the Soulpreneur Intensive. There's the lessons and the weekly group coaching calls and the community and the monthly check-in calls, and of course your work that you're doing on your own. But with all of this, what was your biggest surprise when you joined the Soulpreneur Intensive?
How organized you have it all. Because even with the lessons that you've given me, I look at it and I'm just like, this is a lot. It's like your Mike Kajabi is so nice. I'm still learning it, but I think like not so much the most surprising, but like the most beneficial thing to me, because me and technology aren't necessarily the best of friends, was having somebody who has gone through the trials and errors and has found programs that works for them, and has done the things that work and don't, and being able to actually like manage that into a lesson plan that was by week or for weekly, that we could go and like take out our each of our lessons and kind of help ourselves move further in our business. Like the course I was doing with Community Futures, like it did give me a lot of that, but it was like so much to learn in like 2 weeks. And so it's like it's nice sitting and going through your lesson plan, because it's like kind of a refresher for me, but then it's more than that because it takes out a lot of the research work that I also had to do and was getting overwhelmed doing. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Wow. The Virgo in me is really excited to hear that. I'm a Virgo sun and a Virgo rising, so I
Oh,
definitely strive to be organized.
yeah, see, I'm a Sagittarius, so I'm not.
And I'm married to a Sagittarius.
Yeah, yeah,
I
okay.
get
So you
it.
get it.
Yeah, I do for sure. And we do our absolute best to balance out masculine and feminine energy in the Soulpreneur Intensive. So again, logic and reason and structure and order with the feminine energy of being and learning how to trust and listen more to our intuition and our own intuitive gifts. Can you speak to how that has had an impact on your journey as not only an entrepreneur, but just as a woman on this journey?
That was probably one of my favorite parts about it, our weekly meetups that we would have, and just sitting in sacred space with other people who are, kind of on the same, maybe not doing the exact same thing, but they have the same soul mission. Like their mission is to help others with their gifts or whatever, their talents or what it is that they offer. And I feel a lot of us in that group, even if we're not directly going through the same life experiences, we're often going through similar wounding or similar, struggles. And when we have these not in one-on-ones, but these group chats and we're like talking, it's funny because somebody will go first and then it's like, oh, that kind of plays off of what I was going to talk about. And it's, or like, that's what kind of what I'm going through right now. And it's amazing to see that level of support and community, and also to recognize that you're not the only person struggling with these things.
Feel that so deeply, and that is my absolute favorite part of community building. My favorite part. Thank you. I know that there are people who will be watching this video who have been on the fence about whether or not they'd like to join the Soulpreneur Intensive. If you were talking to somebody and they were like, okay, I got to make a decision tonight, are there any words of wisdom that you might share with them to help them make this decision for themselves?
If you're already considering it, it's probably because you need to. Your higher team of ascension people, they want you to.
They're just nudging you along. Like, this is what's
Yeah.
meant to be.
Yeah, you just have to actually decide that you want to invest in yourself.
Exactly. And, I wasn't going to ask, but you just totally inspired me. Like, with that being said, I mean, you and I have both made that big, scary decision to invest in ourselves. And it is terrifying. It's scary to invest in ourselves. It's a big deal. And, in both of our experiences, it does stretch us a little bit. Can you speak to that and how you were able to find the confidence to make that decision?
Well, I come from lack mentality, growing up in poverty and being the oldest of, a single mom. And just kind of that's kind of always been ingrained in me, and feeling also my unworthiness wounds, right? So feeling like I'm not worthy of spending those things. Plus I'm a mom, like how often do we feel like we can do anything for ourselves? Especially when it's, a big cost like that. But I think I've spent so long thinking that I wasn't worthy, that part of what I'm trying to do with my business is make people empowered. So if empowering myself was investing in myself and taking away a little bit of that unworthiness wound within me, then I couldn't say no.
That was my experience as well. And I found that, when I did invest in myself, and maybe you might agree, I definitely took it quite seriously
Yeah.
because of the investment. I was like, okay, I have to do
Yeah.
this. There's no turning back. And I know many of you watching have probably been watching my journey from the very beginning. And there were many, many, many failures, but that energetic investment in myself really did tip the scales for me to become more in alignment with my purpose.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
for sure.
Madison, thank you so, so much for taking the time to chat with me about your experience. I am going to invite anybody who's feeling called to Madison. If you are struggling in your journey and you are dealing with narcissistic abuse or on the tail end of it or going through it right now, wherever you may be, please don't be shy. Reach out to this girl. She is a beautiful space holder and she is so incredibly full of wonderful knowledge, wonderful wisdom, and incredible gifts. And I know that she can help you. If
Thank you,
you,
Jenny.
thank you. I'm so grateful. These calls really do, I think, speak to all of us, whether somebody is just, having questions about the Soulpreneur Intensive and they just want some clarity, some experience from somebody, or maybe somebody who's watching is meant to be working with you. Maybe this platform is going to open up your soulmate clients to be able to make that connection. So I trust that what's meant to be will be, and everybody watching will take something out of this. Thank you again.
Amazing. Thank you, Jenny.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.